How do we even start the show today? Welcome back to Live at the Roxy. I'll try not to make this the most depressing show of all time. We do have some good things that are coming down the pipeline to talk about, but for Glenn, you can tell us how many days. We've been starting the show with Brett Hankinson, Miles Cosgrove, Jonathan Mattingly arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. And today they decided they are not going to arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor, that they are going to arrest one cop involved with the killing of Breonna Taylor and not charge him with the murder of Breonna Taylor. A lot to break down on the show, as we have been really highly invested in this and what was going to happen here. But it's been over 6 months since the murder on March 13th. And the fight continues, but holy fuck, this one was a massive hit for us. We knew that Wednesday they were going to be making an announcement. We read Jonathan Mattingly's entire email. We knew that they were prepping for protests to turn into possible riots. You wonder why they're prepping for that, because they knew what was coming. They knew it was coming to a head, and they knew what decision they were making. And they knew that this was an extreme possibility, and this is what they did. So, yeah, we will be talking about that today. We are also an entertainment show, so there's more stuff we'll be talking about. It seems very strange to talk about Breonna Taylor on this show and also to talk about Marvel's release dates and the Suicide Squad spinoff. But, hey, that's the kind of show this is. A lot of fuck no, some fuck yeah, and everywhere in between with what it is you guys have to say. Kentucky's not my favorite place on the planet right now. Let's say that as well. We also have some Streamlabs, some super chats that we'll be getting to. And yeah, I guess before we get into any of that, you guys tell me if you think differently, but I think we have to start by talking about what's going on with Breonna Taylor. And again, Glenn, let us know how many days in a row on this show we opened up with arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. Not that that means anything. We're all so invested. We're so invested because I think a lot of us see ourselves in this woman, in this 26-year-old woman who was asleep in her bed, who hadn't done anything, who wanted to be a nurse, who was an EMT, who had dreams and goals and family and aspirations and a love life and all the things. And the fact that even if you don't know anything about the situation, the fact that she was asleep in bed and police officers came and murdered an innocent woman, how does that not result in an arrest? How does it not? So I guess that's what we're going to talk about today, how it didn't and why it didn't. The answer to why is because the system is fucked up and protects police officers instead of the innocent, even though the police officers claim to be protecting the innocent. So, yep. All right, let's talk about it. I thought that Yahoo News did a really good job of breaking down what had happened. And then I also spoke to my father, and I want to read you guys a message that he sent me that was infuriating, not infuriating because of him, but because of something that he pointed out to me that I was unaware of. But Yahoo, like I said, everywhere was covering this, but Yahoo did a really great job of it. They said a grand jury in Jefferson County, Kentucky, indicted former Louisville police detective Brett Hankinson on Wednesday in connection with the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor, charging him with 3 counts of wanton endangerment. So we'll talk about this in a little bit, but wanton endangerment obviously has nothing to do with the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor. The other 2 officers involved, Jonathan Mattingly and Miles Cosgrove, were not charged, and none of the officers were charged for their role in her death. So just let that sink in for a second. None of the 3 of them. These are going to be 3 men who get away with murder. And no mention, by the way, of the judge who issued the no knock warrant, which, again, we will talk about shortly. While there are 6 possible homicide charges under Kentucky law, these charges are not applicable to the facts before us because our investigation showed and the grand jury agreed that Mattingly and Cosgrove were justified in their return of deadly fire after having been fired upon by Kenneth Walker. That's from Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron. So that was today what Daniel Cameron, the Attorney General, had to say about that and how he justified the decision that they made. The Republican Attorney General said that according to Kentucky law, the use of force by Mattingly and Cosgrove was justified to protect themselves. Quote, this justification bars us from pursuing criminal charges in Miss Breonna Taylor's death. So they're saying because they were just protecting themselves after Kenneth Walker had fired on them after they, you're lying in bed, you're sleeping, people break into where you're sleeping. So, okay. The earlier announcement of the indictment outraged civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, an attorney for Taylor's family, saying, quote, Jefferson County grand jury indicts former officer Brett Hankinson with 3 counts of wanton endangerment in first degree for bullets that went into other apartments, but nothing for the murder of Breonna Taylor. This is outrageous and offensive. That's what the tweet said. I think that everybody in this room completely agrees that he is getting charged with wanton endangerment for the 10 shots that went into other apartments that could have injured somebody, but not for the shots that murdered an innocent woman. So that's what that is. Going into, I'll read you guys what my dad texted me that again was fucking infuriating. And I'm looking at what you guys are saying in the chat right now too. Okay. This is what my dad texted me. And my dad never sends novels, but my dad, for all of his crazy quirks and strange things and being an absolute rock star, I've never seen my dad not be on the right side of history. And he is such an advocate for people who need advocates and is very knowledgeable about the judicial system. And anyway, this is what he sent me. He said, it seems to me, because I called him and I asked him, why would they do this? How, why, what? And he says, it seems to me that either the Kentucky Attorney General or District Attorney steered the grand jury in a direction to minimize any charges brought against the officers. A grand jury is different from a jury in a criminal or civil trial. Grand juries, who are the ones who made the decision for the cops to not be arrested, grand juries hear only from the prosecution, normally a district attorney, seeking to indict someone or a group of people for a crime. It's very easy to get a grand jury to indict someone for a crime because they only hear one side of the story. So they're only hearing from the prosecution. So you would think that they would be able to very easily do this when there's no even counter arguments. So if the attorney general or district attorney wanted to indict the cop for manslaughter, it would have been easy to convince the grand jury. So this specific case tells me that either the AG or DA realized the problem with letting all the cops off with no charges, and they postured to get the least possible charge against only one officer. Maximum penalty is 5 years under this charge. So let's just let that sink in for a second. The worst that can happen to them, I don't know how to phrase that other than, like, obviously I want that to happen, but I'm saying, like, for them, their worst case scenario is that 1 of 3 officers gets charged and convicted and goes to prison for 5 years. That is that's the highest penalty, that 1 of them will go to prison for 5 years. And we know that on good behavior with 5 years, we know what that ends up looking like, about half sentence. So that is for what this is. Rich says it's 15 years, Roxy, 1 for each count. Okay, got it. So because there's 3 counts of it, that makes sense, Rich. Okay. That makes a little more sense. Thank you. Sorry for the false information. So max penalty is 5 years under this charge, and then there's the 3 charges of it. The 3 counts of it. Makes sense. Okay. But the bigger question that remains unknown to me as in my father, are the details behind the no-knock warrant that was issued. Who asked for no-knock? Why did the judge grant the no-knock? Cops sometimes request no-knock warrants to surprise violent criminals, but this was a drug charge, so not a violent offense. That doesn't seem to be the case here. So I think the paperwork behind the no-knock warrant would probably indicate cops lied to get it, or the judge did not give it adequate consideration before granting it. So you guys get what he's saying, that the no-knock warrant is not typically issued for these types of charges. So either the cops said something that wasn't fully accurate in order to convince the judge to give it to them, or the judge didn't do their job looking fully into this. The warrant process is completely separate from a grand jury process. Warrant before shooting, grand jury after shooting. So, which that part we know. That was his text that he sent me. Yeah, so Zadius, one guy possibly gets 15 years in prison, but she's dead forever. Justice. I know, it's crazy. And 15 years won't mean 15 years. Even if, and we'll see if they even, this is just a charge right now, which would probably mean 7 years, right? 8 years. And he's probably going to be highly protected in prison as a police officer. If he goes, you guys are all on the same page as me. It's fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. And they know it, which is why they were setting up for these protests. Because they know that, like, if you have to prep for protests, you know you're making the wrong decision. Because why would you have to be like, oh, people are not going to like this decision, let's prep for the protests? Because you know how egregious it is. It's fucking ridiculous that each one of these three charges against the one guy is 5 years each. And there's a woman, an innocent woman who's dead, an innocent person. Fucking ridiculous. Disgusting. Disgusting. We will continue to talk about it on this show and see if anything changes, if anything happens with the no-knock warrant. I cannot believe that Jonathan Mattingly, the man who wrote that fucking atrocious email, who has zero regrets for what he's done, or that Brett Hankinson, I cannot fucking believe, oh, and then Miles Cosgrove, that Miles Cosgrove and Jonathan Mattingly have nothing happening. Nothing. They're being penalized in no fucking way. And the only one is Brett Hankinson, and it has nothing to do with the murder. What? Poor fucking families. I also read that her boyfriend is suing the cops, and that there's going to be updates there. The other two might lose their jobs, says DK. I mean, why would you want to be a fucking police officer after you did this and can't trust yourself, clearly? If they don't lose their job, then they should fucking quit. But they should just lose their job. John Darius in the super chat says, I hope we use what's happened this year as motivation to be more humane to each other. Our world can't move forward with hate. We must do better, not just for ourselves, but for future gens to come. 100%. We don't have a choice. We won't make it. We won't make it if we continue to hate our Black brothers and sisters. We won't fucking make it. And if we continue to hate our LGBTQIA plus communities and our Jewish communities. I watched Unorthodox last night. That fucking show blew me away, by the way. But hatred is what causes people to die in all different circumstances. This one comes from hatred. The Holocaust from hatred, any kind of genocide, mass shootings. That's what it's about. People having hate in their heart, and it's fucking disgusting and sad, and we won't make it out alive. Ugh. And this coming right now prior to an election is just like, Oh, fuck. Maybe this will light a fire under people's asses. Let's go into some of the Streamlabs. I saw a bunch came in from yesterday, or a couple came in from yesterday. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. This one's from today. Sugar Gum said, so the boyfriend had no right to shoot the cops who entered his home without knocking, but the white boy who crossed state lines had the right to shoot to shot people who jumped him. Which one is it? Pro-gun peeps. Can black people not bear arms? I'm so angry. Totally. I mean, the rules fucking don't apply to certain people, clearly. And like the rules are different for fucking everyone, clearly. That's what the case is, Sugar Gum. Yeah. I mean, there is no rhyme or reason. Like, you know, and that's what we're talking about right now with in the ICE detention centers with the hysterectomies that are going on. But the people there are pro-life. So which fucking is it? Like the hypocrisy of people and the disregard for others and human lives. And like, no, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Which one is it? Are you pro-gun or not? If somebody breaks into your home and you don't know what the fuck is happening, because he says he heard a bang, but he didn't hear anybody say they were a police officer. Sir Joker 40 says, this is how it has been historically. The issues is and always has been justice reform. Our society is inherently racist and it seems broken. They'll most likely get off. Don't be surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, as of Monday, I didn't even want to say this on the show because I didn't want to put that energy out there. But as of Monday, when they were saying, let's prepare for protests, we're taking away people's ability to go on vacation. We're taking away people's ability to take time off from work. We need everybody here until further notice. It was like, no shit, we knew that they were fucking planning this decision, because why else would there be protests? If you charged all 3 officers with the murder of Breonna Taylor, then we're not fucking protesting. Then we're feeling like finally we're moving in the right direction. Which is another thing that keeps getting asked, like, what more do you guys want? What more do you guys want? You've already had whatever the fuck people say. What more do we want? Nothing that we wanted has taken place. Nothing. It's fucking ridiculous. Going back into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Shout out to Rob Fishbeck for the support. Thank you. I really appreciate it. This came at 2:30 in the morning from Katie the Good Witch, who said, thoughts about the trolley problem. Train is going to hit 5 strangers, but you can pull a lever to turn it to kill one person you love instead. What do you do? This is coming up a lot with combos about the election. I kill the 1 and save the 5. I mean, I hate fucking hypotheticals like this, Katie, because I don't know the answer. I haven't heard this come up in the election a ton, and I'd like to know in what situation you're talking about, but I don't know that I would have the ability, if a train was coming for 5 strangers and if I pulled a lever, it would kill somebody I love. I don't know that I would have it in me to physically pull that lever. Luckily, I don't think I'll ever have to figure that out. What do you guys do? Weston says not enough info there. Yeah. Who are the other 5 people? Luckily, I'm not in that position. I don't have to answer that question, but it is an interesting thought, Katie. And I heard that as a kid. We used to ask like things like that as kids all the time. So yeah. All right. In the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Yesterday, after we ended the show, Morse Code said, won't be able to watch live this week. So just sending some support and a free moment. Morse Code, really appreciate you, honey. Thank you. Hope you're able to watch after the fact, so you can get angry and sad and frustrated and all these things with us. Although, again, we will have some better news in a little bit because we jump all over the place. A couple of things from Texas Teacher, guys. Texas Teacher says, I've been away. I know I've been concerned about that. And I'm back with good and bad news. Okay. I got a head of sound department gig for both the Christmas break and over the summer break, which I'm also editing the feature film. I also just sent my final edit of the feature I've been working on. That's awesome, Texas Teacher. The next one says, and the bad news, I am now only 2 days clean and sober. I found some coke and did a few rails. And then when I got the 2 gigs, I went and partied with a few bad apples. I went off for a few days, but I'm back and trying again. I feel like I let the next one, you and the rock stars, down as I slipped again. Also, I passed the 15th anniversary of the first life I took in the Army, and I came close to swallowing a bullet like the rest of the guys from the mission. I put the weapon down and went and got help. I'm working on getting my shit back together, and I'm pulling some strength from you and the rest of your team. I hate that all of this happened, but I know that I will get another 9 years eventually. Sorry for the bring down, but this is helping me. So much going on there, Texas teacher. Number one, I think we all need to pull strength from outside sources right now because it's just fucking too hard to be doing all this alone. So everybody in here, send hearts and bunnies to Texas teacher. We love you and we're thinking about you. And this time is really fucking challenging. So try and be easy on yourself, but at the same time, remember what your life is worth. So I don't know if this will resonate with anybody, but for me recently, I'm usually really scared to go to bed at night. And I do this thing where I check under my couch and I check in my room, and I check under my bed, and I check in my washing machine and drying machine and behind my curtains, and I make sure nobody's there. And recently I hadn't been doing that, and I hadn't been feeling scared to go to bed anymore. And I was like, I wonder why. Why am I not feeling that fear anymore? And I realized it was because there's not as much to be afraid of when you don't value your life as much. And I kind of lost that fear because I had been so down that I decided, like, what's the worst that can happen? So something bad happens to me. I don't know how much I really care. And so, Texas teacher, I think that when you're not valuing yourself or your life or anything going on with you, then it is easier to slip into a place in which you are using or thinking of doing something that in the moment might cause relief, but in the long run might not help. And I think that if you can try and look at the things that you have set up for your future, like you just talked about, the jobs that you have, the things that are coming down the pipeline that you're excited about, those will bring you that feeling of like value and importance and self-worth when you're doing something that matters and that you think that you have a reason to be here. And if you can just try to keep those in your head so that you know why you're fighting for your sobriety or why it matters that you stay on this earth, then I think that might be helpful. And at the same time, while you should be kind to yourself, I think that just really try to hold yourself to a standard and put yourself in a place where you want to make yourself proud in 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You want 20 years from now you to be impressed by this version of you. And you want to create a life for yourself that you feel is beautiful and fulfilling. So I hear you, and there's so much shitty shit going on in the world that it's easy to feel lost sometimes. Like, does it even fucking matter? Because of the stuff that we're talking about on the show today. But it does matter, and we care about you. And I'm glad to hear that you're 2 days sober and take it one day at a time. But I can't wait until you get 9 years under your belt, and then 10 years under your belt, and then 12 years under your belt, and then 50 years or however many years, because I know you can do it. So also another important thing is trying to eliminate the bad apples in your life so that that temptation isn't there. It's hard to cut people out of your life for sure, but I think that when you know somebody's not good for you, then you know that you don't really have a choice but to eliminate them from your life. Because if it's people around you who encourage you to use or will use with you, then they can't be there. They can't be there. Ben says 2 days is better than no days. Keep going, brother. Eric says support for Texas teacher. We got you. Let's see. Cinema says, I knew Texas teacher is a woke god from the first chat he sent. I just knew it. Cinema says, Texas teacher is so self-aware and enlightened. You'll never lose that, and you're forgiven because we didn't choose our circumstances, neither you nor anyone else. At least you have your conscience. Totally. Kate reminding us we're all here together. So, yeah, we're all thinking about you. And I hope I didn't just make that too much about me. I'm just trying to relate and say that I know during this time and during tough times, it's like that. And I have no idea what it's like to be in the Army. And as always, thank you for your service. But I do think that that feeling inside of why am I here? And then being willing to throw your life away is something that I can relate to. And I hope that you find ways to hold on and find that purpose that will really keep you here. Okay, so thank you for that. And thank you for the support, Texas teacher, and this Streamlabs. I really appreciate that. And to all of you guys in here for giving support back to Texas teacher. And you did not let us down. Don't think like that. That's not how that works. Bella in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider says, I wish people would say they're racist and go. People saying, she wasn't sleeping. She was a drug dealer. The boyfriend shot first. Okay. Even if all of this were true, which it isn't, it still does not justify being shot 8 times and left to die. Fuck off. Yeah, I know. I wish people would too. I wish that people would, I've said this before, have a hat or a shirt or whatever just says I'm racist. So whatever bullshit they spew out of their mouth, I'm like, oh, well, that's where that's coming from. Yep, that's where that's taking place. Guys, Winston Marshall in the house. If y'all didn't know, Rockstar is the best person, period. Fucking A, Winston, today, man. Today. I can't even, it's like, and I saw our good friend Jay Washington post this, that he was just like, I don't give a fuck about comic book movies and TV shows today. And like, I totally feel him. I still try to talk about them because like, I do think that as entertainers, we know that how fucking important having things to look forward to and the value of entertainment is. So like, I try to do these shows. Usually I try to do these shows where I'm in high spirits with you guys. This one, I can't just pretend that I'm in fucking high spirits, but what I can do is try and give you guys something on the horizon, something to look forward to. So I guess that's what the announcement today about this Peacemaker show is. We can talk about it briefly, guys. The Suicide Squad has a spinoff coming, and Peacemaker, who's played by John Cena in the Suicide Squad, which is the sequel to Suicide Squad, apparently is going to be on this show. I believe it's going to be an HBO Max show, and it's also going to be a James Gunn series. So people seem really excited about this. I've been hearing really good things about John Cena's Peacemaker. It's a straight to series order, so that means they've got a lot of confidence behind it. So in case anybody doesn't know, that usually things are picked up for like a pilot. They do a test run, but this is a straight to series order, so we're getting a whole season. And yeah, John Cena is going to be playing the role, reprising it from the movie, which we'll see when we will see based on quarantine. 8 episodes of the show are coming. and it's described as an action adventure comedy. I think we could all use a little bit of action and a little bit of adventure right now. Yeah. The exact plot of the series is kind of getting being kept under wraps. They don't want us to know exactly, but it's said to explore the origins of Peacemaker, which you would figure they would have to do, because raise your hand if you know who Peacemaker really is. Raise your hand if you know a ton about Peacemaker and you're like, oh no, like Batman, I could totally skip that origin. Doubt it. But he's a man who believes in peace at any cost, no matter how many people he has to kill to get it. It's kind of like his catch-22. That's his thing. So opposite of Batman, who won't kill unless you're in some movies, Peacemaker wants peace at any cost. So it's really, he's like a war maker. It's supposed to start at the beginning of early 2021. Production is. We'll see how that goes. And it's starting prior to Gunn working on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So it's this little sliver of time they've got to make it work. And the Suicide Squad currently is set to be released August 6, 2021. That was just a little break in our regularly scheduled programming to make it so that you guys, like me, have something to look forward to during this weird ass, fucked up, not okay time, where we just have to fucking do everything we can to fight. I know a lot yesterday we talked about voting and how much it matters, but it really truly does, because we see over and over again how much power our elected officials have and what they are able to do. And it is so extremely fucked up that justice is not being served, because we have not put the people in power to serve justice that are people who will serve justice. Not that there really is anything that can be served here as justice, because somebody's dead, and nothing is justice for that. Not even $12 million. So yes, did I just bring the Peacemaker conversation back around to Breonna Taylor? Yes, I did. And can I really talk about anything today without talking about Breonna Taylor? No, I really fucking can't. But we will keep on keeping on and get to a couple more Streamlabs. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Ace Money says, strength and love to Texas teacher. I'm sorry that he's going through these challenges. He needs to know that he has value and is worth the work it takes to come back from the brink. Every day is a chance to turn it around. Ace Money, I love that mindset, because I agree, and we all have value. And like any one of us who is fighting the good fighter, believes that is on the right side of history. There's too many people who are on the wrong side of it that we need to stick around so that we can outnumber them. And every day is a chance to turn it around. I was on the phone with my friend yesterday, and my friend is his dad has brain cancer, which you guys know my mom passed away from, and he was talking to me and just was like, I'm doing some really stupid shit right now in my life. And I'm like not treating people very well and all this stuff, which when my mom was really sick, same. I was being a fucker and I couldn't even help it. And I was aware enough at the time that I was doing it, but I couldn't stop it. And, I think that I've told him take it day by day, and it's the same thing. Every day is a new chance to try to not be an ass and wake up and tell yourself, I'm not going to fucking be a dickhead to the people that I love today. I'm not going to do it. And then try to act on it, or whatever it is that your thing is. Danielle Ramirez, so happy to have you in here, honey, says, hey, Rox, just wanted to tell you, thank you for always being an inspiration. Times are tough right now, but I'm glad we all have you to help lift our spirits. Sending you love and bunnies. Thank you, Danny. I really appreciate it. I don't know if I'm very spirit uplifting today, but at least I am here and we're doing this all together, because it's better than motherfucking doing it and feeling all of this alone. And that's for sure. Gingerbread in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, yay, you watched Unorthodox. Wasn't it incredible when Etsy sang and Yankee saw her, and then the hotel scene when he cried and told her he'd leave it all. Okay, I don't even want to read that part because spoilers, but I was crying so much. I'm glad they were both nominated for Emmys. Hashtag justice for Breonna. Gingerbread. I thought Unorthodox was amazing. I started it last night. It's 4 parts, guys, so it's 4 hours long. So I was up until like 4 a.m. watching it because it was so amazing. And then I watched the making of it too. As a Reformed Jew, I obviously have a vastly different experience than an Orthodox Jew, a Hasidic Jew. But that being said, something that I really took away from it was how fucked up people were and are today because of the Holocaust, and like how that really doesn't leave my people at any level, and like how we lost 6 million people, and so some people have decided it is their duty and obligation to repopulate the Jewish population, and like that is their job. Or how some people are so scared that everybody is always going to hate Jews, or how some Jews still think of Germany, or how Jews interact with each other versus non-Jews, or like I mean, it's crazy how the domino effect that it still has, you know, from 1945 to 2020. It's just insane. So that really hit home for me. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful show. And I always just love shows in which you're just rooting so hard for the main character, and you're just rooting for her at every step of the way. Etsy is her name, and you just so badly want her to have happiness and succeed. So it's a really great show. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's a miniseries, 4 parts, quick watch, definitely worth your time. Let me know if you guys watch it. But yes, it was really, really great. Thank you, Gingerbread. Texas Teacher in the house, guys, in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. Texas Teacher says, thank you for your love and support. Y'all are the best. I am a high school English teacher in a Title I school with only 4 white kids and 3,000 kids. After the announcement of Breonna Taylor, I have decided to give my students the day off. They are all Breonna Taylor. Yeah, because I said we can all see ourselves in Breonna Taylor, and I didn't know you were able to just give your kids the day off, but I understand that the announcement is so fucking disturbing and sad that Texas Teacher, I encourage you to encourage them as an English teacher to maybe write about how they're feeling about it, put it all down. Like, just really, really, we have to find outlets for the things that are going on inside us right now. We need those outlets. Okay. Let's see what's going on in here. Oh, yeah. Lovecraft Country, I have now caught up with. That is a fucking awesome show, too. Weird as hell. Brittany Parker watched Unorthodox. Really stuck with her. Saw it months ago. I have a feeling it's going to stick with me as well. A lot of great television going on right now. A lot of great television, which is good because we are getting more delays for the movies that were supposed to come out. Tons of delays are taking place at this time, which makes sense. West Side Story was even further delayed. But of the Marvel movies have been pushed back. We were wondering what was going to happen with Black Widow. And it was announced that Black Widow's new date is now May 7th, 2021, which is a year after their OG date. So it's moving from November 6th to May 7th. I wonder if that sticks. I have no idea. I have no idea if that's going to stick. You would like to think by May we're good, but I truly don't know. Wonder Woman's supposed to come before that, so we'll see how that does. I think so, at least. Or did Wonder Woman move again? You guys let me know. Shang-Chi is now July 9th, 2021, and Eternals is November 5th, 2021. So Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals all in the same year. Black Widow and Shang-Chi just being 2 months apart from each other, which is interesting. How do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about these moving back? Looks like definitely we will not be getting any of them on Disney Plus. And, Tenet still not doing very well in the box office. Might have some stuff to do with this. Wonder Woman 2 was December. Yeah, I thought so. Thought it moved to December. It's going to be a weird next 12 months. Weird fucking 12 months, baby. I don't think anybody can say otherwise. We're going to take it day by day with each other. Okay. Let's see. In the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Did I just fuck up my name? /Roxy Stryer. Texas teacher says, day off from my normal work, not from school. Oh, gotcha. Makes sense. Track stars in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, from those who watch you, from those who watch you silently, know that you have been a beacon to the rock stars to get us all through this. You mean the world to us as you share this space for us to care for one another. Thank you. You are worth it. Your life is worth it. That's so sweet, track stars. And for those who do watch me silently, you're absolutely welcome here. And I'm happy that you are here. And if you ever have something you want to say, please do share your voice. Let it be heard. That's part of what this platform is about. And thank you for saying that about my worth and my life. It is a weird fucking time. And it's hard to feel that value, and you got to keep creating it. So Jake Yakavetta reminding everybody we're only 11 likes away from 100. Hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it, guys, if you do. As we are getting out of here, a reminder that tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific time on the World Girls are giving Celebrity Impressions a whirl with Josh Robert Thompson, who is a fucking impressionist star. And Darina, Steph, and I are not good at impressions. Like, none of us are good at impressions. So this should be a fucking wild one. If you need some distractions, if you need anything to get your mind off of the fact that this world is a bizarre ass place and we are just trying to make it through day by day and fight the good fight, then come watch us make actual asses of ourselves tonight. youtube.com/theworldgirls. If you're not already subscribed, please go do that. We just put together a sick pitch deck and we're trying to get all this like stuff going on over there. So please, oh please subscribe. And here as well, as I lost, by the way, yesterday I lost another 100 followers on Twitter. No idea why. Half that amount on Instagram, and my subscriber base here just keeps going plummeting. No fucking idea. People are so weird. If you don't like me, I guess that's fine. A lot of people don't. Okay, so I'll see you guys for World Girls tonight, and I'll see you guys on this show tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Next week we do have Billy Business coming on, I believe. And I'm looking into a couple other people. Want to get Steph back on the show. My brother as well. And my friend Haley J, who just launched her own show. She will be coming on too. So a lot of different stuff. And if you're watching this after the fact, then feel free to Streamlabs. I can read it on the next show like I did today for some people. And like, comment, subscribe, leave that comment, all the stuff. You guys fucking know. You've been watching me for long enough. I love you a lot. I guess I'll just say, arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. We still fucking believe that. That's how we feel. Just because you guys aren't going to listen doesn't mean it's not the truth of what we should do to make this even one step closer to being right. All right. Love you guys. And I'll see you tonight and then tomorrow.